objective natin, Mr. President, to ensure that we have a healthy health ecosystem, na buhay ang ating private health institutions at nandyan yung mga support na kailangan nila. Kasi bago nga itong factor na dinadagdag natin. It's new. It's new. It does not exist now. Indigent patients are required to provide a promissory note, which means they have the legal obligation, to be clear sa mga nakikinig, they have the legal obligation to cover that amount. That is the meaning of a promissory note. You have
Yes,
a legal
Mr.
backing
President.
to cover that amount. So, I understand what Her Honor is saying, that she has these government agencies that will provide, and Her Honor even mentioned letter E on the next page. Wala hong problema yon, pero I will just end this point, Mr. President, and ask Her Honor to read line 27, which is on page 3. Line 27 lang po, hanggang 30, kasi marami namang nakabura doon eh. Let's put it on record.
The gentlelady would like me to read it. So, page 3, lines 27 to 30, the promissory note shall be secured by any or a combination of the following.
And is Her Honor, is my understanding correct that yung the following na yan nga po yung 5 na binanggit nyo? Tama ho ba ako?
Tama po, Mr. President.
So, anong binasa nyo? The promissory note shall be secured. So, we are talking about a situation where there is a promissory note involved. And what I have been trying to say, Your Honor, is for the indigent patient, it is your amendment that says that line 17, would Her Honor like to read? I can read it, she can read it, but that is your amendment, Your Honor. Line
Yes,
17.
Mr. President, provided that no promissory note shall be required of indigent patients who have been endorsed by the Medical Social Sciences Services Office of the hospital, medical clinic, or any similar facility to the Department of Social Welfare and Development. And just to reiterate, Mr. President, earlier, sinabi ko na rin po na we can clarify wordings to assume promissory equals guarantee. So it could be a guarantee note. Saka wala rin naman pong changes sa
Yes.
Mr. President, assuming no sa budget allocation dahil nasa loob naman ng DOH at DSWD budgets yung MAIFIP at AIX. Might nitong nakalista sa 5 letters dito, kakayanin po nilang garantyahan yan. And yan ang assurance na mababayaran ang mga ospital sa mga serbisyong ibinibigay nila sa mga indigents, Mr. President.
With the kind permission of Senator Pia, the way I understand it, dalawa po yung categories, may indigent and non-indigent. Ang indigent, hindi na po pwede mag-issue ng promissory note. Dito papasok si DSWD para to assure the payment to the hospitals. For non-indigent, pwede pa rin mag-issue ng promissory note backed by the 5 different guarantees. So, in
Maaari
other
po,
words,
Mr. President.
I think that's the way it's structured.
But that is correct.
Yeah. So I think ang suggestion ko ho is to make it very clear that for indigent, it's the government that will assure the payment to the hospital so that yung
Yes.
operations nila, I see the point of Senator Pia, hindi ma-hamper yung operations nila. I think that should be stated clear in the bill. Para kung ako man si hospital, walang promissory note, si government na will step in and pay for my arrears.
Yes, Mr. President, and will do to make it clearer. Pero salamat din sa pagbanggit kahit yung mga non-indigent, halimbawa yung mga middle class. Minsan kahit middle class po ay maaring kapusin. So this could be like a range of financial buffer para sa mga pasyente. Yung mga indigent talaga, at least masasandigan nila itong mga institusyon, and yung non-indigent, if necessary at kung magkakwalipika sa mga criteria, maaring mag-avail of din kahit partially. Pero syempre, alam naman po natin ang pinakamadalas na de-detain dahil may bill or may balanse pa sa bill ay yung mga mahihirap. So sila po yung aasahan sana natin dito sa 5 nakalista.
Yeah, well, I suggest for the indigent, good sponsor, malista natin yung DSWD, DOH, PhilHealth, even PCSO, yung mga government institutions who provide assistance so that kung ako yung hospital, alam ko, assured din ako na mababayaran din ako. Yun ang, I think Senator Pia is correct in saying, pag maliit ka, wala ka ng, you rely on your cash flow eh. Pag mawawala yung cash flow na yun, mahirapan sila to continue with their operation. And we'll provide some suggestions to that effect.
Salamat, Mr. President. So ngayon pa lang, I could see 2 possible conditions na isasama natin or criteria. Kapag indigent patients, no promissory note. And for other patients, maaring may promissory note pero backed up pa rin by the 5 securities bilang guarantee sa hospital. And I thank the good Senate President for those for that additional guidance. Mr. President, we could suspend for the moment so that we can fix the provision with the staffs, both of the good gentlewoman and the Senate President.
Yeah. So with that,
Yes,
yeah.
but what thank you for that. Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Senate President, because that's exactly what I was trying to say.
All right.
I was just pointing that out, that it is not clear where that money will come from. And what we have not established is what is that amount. Because I am prepared later on when we resume to show that the amount I have is much more than, I think Her Honor said 7 to 10 billion, if I'm not
5
mistaken.
to 7 billion pesos.
5 to 7. The
Mr.
numbers I
President.
have are much bigger. I just want to study it a little bit more because it's not my goal to prolong this. I also want to
Tama,
pass
7
this.
to 10,
Pero
sorry.
I want to be responsible about this. Otherwise, I will have to make a reservation in the passage of this measure because when the budget time comes, or even before that comes, mark my word, pipila ang ating mga private hospitals to object to the passing of this. And we don't want that. No, we want them to know that it's a Senate that listens to the people and passes responsible bills. Thank you, Mr. President, for your clarification.
Session
Just correct my last note, Mr. President. 7 nga po, 7 to 10 billion
Yeah.
pesos.
My numbers are
Thank you,
much
Mr.
higher, Mr.
President.
President.
Yeah. Session suspended.
To violate an existing law. What I heard is an assumption that was passed on to the secretary of this commission. Somebody presumed that the appointment made last year is supposed to be continued. May I ask the secretary to explain that, if that assumption is correct? And if that assumption is enough to override the clear provision of the law?
Honorable Lacson.
Again, I'd like to clarify, hindi po last year. Before May 25, 2026, yung nag-resume tayo ng first regular session. Kasi nag-break tayo. Bago tayo mag-resume, they were given ad interim appointments by the President. So yun po yung ina-apply natin because a special session that we are having today is a continuation of the first regular session, Mr. Chairman. So yung birthday nila fell after. Kailan ang birthday mo, General? May 14. So yung ad interim appointments were given before May 14, I suppose. So you confirm that. So hindi ka covered ng 1-year ban. That's the clarification that I manifested earlier, Mr. Chairman. How about the others? Covered sila ng, hindi sila covered ng 1-year ban when they were given their ad interim appointments before May 25, di ba? Kasi kung after May 25, resumption, nomination, at saka hindi na kayo mag-apply. But since you were given your ad interim appointments, since Congress was in recess at that time, having resumed on May 25, hindi po kayo mako-cover ng 1-year ban. That's my point. So I hope I satisfy the query posited by the Honorable Marcoleta. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, Mr. Chair, that is an assumption. Somebody should explain from this committee if that assumption is correct. Because the law is the law. they have just reached their age of 56 and they were bypassed. That is a fact. We cannot change that fact, Mr. Chair. That is the only point that I'm trying to raise here. Kasi maliwanag po yung sinasabi naming batas. Wala po tayong personalan dito. I hope that these 5 officers, gusto ko rin naman sila na mailagay natin sa tamang ayos ng kanilang confirmation. But there is a hurdle here. Yun lang ang problema rito, Mr. Chair. Kasi maliwanag po yung sinasabi ng batas. Lumilitaw, after their compulsory retirement, less than 1 year na eh. As a matter of fact, they were unable to submit the documents for confirmation. Only, siguro, hindi ko po alam, but only the Secretary can testify when exactly were they able to complete the documents for confirmation. Ang may kasalanan po talaga, yung June 3 kasi, nag-adjourn. Pagkatapos, sana man lang, before adjournment, sinabi natin, nag-schedule tayo, na i-confirm natin sila. Wala nga silang kasalanan, but somebody is at fault here. And then we have now a problem with the law. We cannot just simply say na we assume that they are not covered by 1 year ban. No. The law is very clear, Mr. Chair. Salamat